Broadcasting live from the smoldering marsh on the plain of Zendikar, this is Tap Tap Concede.
How is a place hot and wet at the same time? Like burning hot. Well, that came out wrong.
You can...
You see,
have you ever had soup?
when a
I haven't had soup with actual fire in it.
when a mommy bacterium and a daddy bacterium love each other very much, they get put into an autoclave.
Fondue, maybe? There's fire under it. Anyway.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tap Tap Concede. Graham here.
Hi, I'm Alex.
And...
I am a Cameron.
Yeah. And we're here to talk to you about Constructed a little bit this week. Specifically, a little bit of Standard and a little bit of the new hotness. The Canadian Highlander.
We've been playing this format a long time, Graham.
Specifically, well, new hotness to the people out in the greater
true. People
greater
are
community.
starting to notice.
It's super cool.
Thanks to Marshall Sutcliffe.
Yeah, Cam's got a fun Standard deck here, and Alex has some...
I have a list on my phone.
Is this a new list or some tweaks you've made to it?
It's a major rehaul.
Oh, sweet. I look forward to that. But first, we're going to crack a pack. You want to roll the giant D20 of fun? 15. All right.
That's right in the middle where the good stuff is?
I don't know anymore. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15.
What is it?
Ooh.
Time Spiral.
Time Spiral. That's fun.
Ooh, that's exciting.
This was given to us by Samuel when he visited the moon base.
What you said is... No, Time Spiral doesn't have Goyf. It was...
Future Sight?
Future Sight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we're not playing the Goyf lottery.
So
but there's some cool cards in this set.
So it was Time Spiral, Planar Chaos, because Plane Shift was a different, right? I always get Planar Chaos and Plane Shift confused.
Like the Mercadian Masks block?
Yeah, so Time Spiral block did things with the past, the present, and the future, sort of.
And they printed some really weird cards.
So Future Sight was the one with the cards with the crazy border that were like, these are theoretical future cards. That's where like your Tarmogoyf comes from, or Tombstalker was another one that got reprinted.
I really like the idea that Tarmogoyf coming from Future Sight, implying that it was being, printed from some far-off future set, and it appearing so far only otherwise in Modern Masters, which is an anthology of great cards from the past, implying that, like, the machine from Babylon 5, the Tarmogoyf has no beginning and no end, and no creator.
Tarmogoyf is just always there.
Well, that's why its price stays stable.
And the Planar Chaos cards were the plane-shifted ones, the color-shifted ones.
Yeah,
right? So
you'd had, like, Damnation.
Yeah, which was 2 black for destroyable creatures instead of Wrath of God, which was 2 white destroyable creatures.
Yeah, and stuff
or
like,
Brute Force, which was +3/+3 for a single red, instead of Giant Growth, which was +3/+3 for a single green. It was all these color-shifted effects.
Their own little text
they had the
boxes.
weird border. Time Spiral was a lot of references to Magic's past. This was like, all right, Magic nerds, this is for you. Like, this was not good for new players, but it was.
But it's so cool.
It was rad.
The set is really.
It was rad if you were into
really
it.
Goofball.
And they also had the Time Spiral special cards, which were cards even printed in the old border.
Oh,
there
right.
was
like Psionic Blast.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. I'll have the Thalid.
All right, what do you want with your Thalid? Would you like some Germ?
I'd like some Thapperling tokens.
All right, then. So this is Thalid Germinator. It's a 2/2 for 2 and a green. It is a fungus. The Thalids were a cycle, you see. Not a cycle. There was a whole sub-theme of Thalids in green.
Thalid's a cool tribe.
At the beginning of your upkeep, put a Spore counter on Thalid Germinator. Remove 3 Spore counters and put a 1/1 green Sapperling into play. And basically, most of the Thalids had that ability that every upkeep you put a Spore counter on them, and you could take 3 Spore counters off to make a 1/1 Sapperling.
This is a commander deck with Proliferate in it.
Yeah, and they all interacted differently with it. This guy, the Thalid Germinator, sacrifice a Sapperling. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So you could really mess around with, because you could have different Thalids, and you could be like, pop 3 counters off one of these guys, make a Sapperling here, sack it to this guy's ability, and that other thing gets +1/+1. There was a lot going on. Zealot Ilvek.
Oh, the Ilvek.
Yeah.
Those are some mans.
1/1 human rebel with Shadow.
Oh.
Yes, Shadow was in this set.
for 2 and a white.
Was this the set that had Looter Ilcore? I feel like it
Yes,
is.
yes.
Yeah.
So we could get a Looter Ilcore.
By the way, I've never seen the art on Zealot Ilvek, and it is amazing.
There's some great art in this set. Like,
This is phenomenal.
there was some really good art on
Oh, it's by
this set.
Chippy. Of course it's great. So,
of course.
1/1 with Shadow for 2 and a white. Shadow, by the way, is this creature can only block or be blocked by creatures with Shadow. Basically, in combat, Shadow creatures only interact with other Shadow creatures. They do not interact with anything else. It's like
He's throwing that dart really hard.
mega flying.
Yeah, it's leaving like a contrail.
Whenever Zealot Ilvek attacks and isn't blocked, you may have it deal 1 damage to target creature. If you do prevent all combat damage, Zealot Ilvek would deal this
Oh,
turn.
that's actually kind of cool.
By the
sort
way,
of a
the
ping-
artwork, the Zealot is in the Shadow realm
Whoa.
and has just thrown that dagger through.
Oh, into the real world.
Yeah,
IRL.
because it's doing 1 damage
That
to
is
any
cool.
creature.
So what happened to Chippy? I have not seen him do artwork in a couple of blocks now.
I don't know.
It goes in
Maybe not
cycles.
this stuff.
Yeah. Iron Claw Buzzardeers.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, because way back in
Oh,
in
Fallen
like
Empire.
Oh, Iron Claw
Unlimited.
orcs.
Yeah, the Iron Claw orcs.
Oh, man.
So the Iron Claw Buzzardeers
Buzzardeers.
are an orc scout. They're a 2/2 orc scout for 2 and a red. They can't block creatures with power 2 or greater. And for a single red mana, they gain flying until end of turn because they're riding a
Yeah,
buzzard.
I mean, like, that's not so bad for
It's not
draft.
terrible.
It's like jump this
Yeah,
guy.
It's a fine 23rd card.
Yeah.
I like his shillelagh that looks kind of like his mount's head.
Yeah. Temporal Eddy. Good old Temporal Eddy. Let me tell you about Temporal Eddy.
Oh, I got
I got some
hearing
stories about
Eddie.
Temporal Eddy.
Oh, I get it.
He's always around. He comes and goes.
The worst.
2 blues for a sorcery. Put target creature or land on top of its owner's library. So it's a sorcery speed Griptide, but it can hit land as well.
Ooh.
Oh, Plow Under, you mean?
Oh, man. That's...
That's
That guy-
good. I like
guy
that.
looks really unhappy.
Well, wouldn't you be if you're like...
Oh no, I'm turning into soap bubbles.
A lot of people don't like hanging out with Temporal Eddy. They make
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey guys, wait! I wanted just to stay at the party. Why am I going away?
Yeah, no kidding. He puts your tap lands back on top of your library, and you're just like, no,
bounce your Karoo lands.
Oh, the beats.
Oh.
Feels Batman.
Yeah. Hey,
Ooh,
Tendrils
this is gonna hurt.
of Corruption.
Oh.
This one I think is actually good. If it's the one I'm thinking of.
It's pretty good. Tendrils of Corruption, 3 and a black, instant. It deals X damage to target creature, and you gain X life, where X is the number of swamps you control.
This is actually.
This beats the crap out of Corrupt.
It's only to target creature.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, because you
it's-
can dome
it's-
with Corrupt. Still, though, it's
an instant.
It's cheaper and it's instant. And Corrupt is a sorcery and like 6 mana.
Yeah, in mono black, this card is actually pretty real. I
This
think
seems good.
I feel like I may have seen this in some mono black control lists in Highlander. But yeah, it's like pretty much only good for mono black, but it's hard.
Drifter Ildal.
Oh, this guy.
More sweet art. It's 2/1 for a single blue mana. Human wizard with shadow, as you may have guessed. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Drifter Ildal unless you pay blue.
This guy's actually really good.
So bringing
This
back
is-
the literal upkeep, which hadn't been printed on cards in a while.
Yeah, this guy actually seems...
He beats really hard.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
seems like his downside is huge, but it's like it's a 2/1 that can't be blocked for a blue.
Yeah, if you get this down on turn 1, then okay.
Like-
Can you imagine going turn 1, this guy, turn 2, paying for this guy, playing another one of this guy?
And they're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this guy will occasionally get into like flying man lists that I've seen, which is just nothing but like
1/1s with
yeah,
flying.
1/1s
Yeah,
with
like
flying,
Suntail
or
Hawk
like
kind of things.
guys who have evasion. They're just like can't be blocked.
So I was just looking at the info about that card, and every card in Time Spiral is a
Is a reference.
a
isn't it?
reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is the Spindrift Drake.
Oh yeah, this guy's also good. In fact, like Well,
Oh, yeah.
they're comparable because like Spindrift Drake blocks.
Spindrift, Drake, Drifter, Ildal.
Oh
Ooh, oh man, this goes all the way to the top.
no, these things are actually like kind of playable in a sort of like blue X aggro strategy.
What is... Actually, can we just go back and look at what the other cards are referencing? Do you have that information handy, or...
Possibly. Let's see. Sorry, can you just...
So, Thalid Germinator was the first one?
That one I did see. Let's see.
Yeah, that has to be a Fallen Empires reference.
To the
This is
old
so
Thalids?
exciting.
Yeah.
This is actually super
The old
interesting to me
Thalid
now.
Bowl.
I do love stuff like this.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, like it's an all Vorthos set.
Basically,
Sign
yeah.
me up.
That's why I thought it was so cool.
I'm into it.
Which is also why I don't think it was actually that successful as a
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for those listening, I'm sorry. Spindrift Drake, the card that Paul just mentioned, is a single mana 2/1 flyer that you have to pay one every upkeep. It's from Exodus, yeah, or Stronghold.
Stronghold?
The
I think so.
the
The
gate.
gate.
The symbol
portcullis.
that's the portcullis, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the same, except instead of flying, he's got shadow.
The pork coolie.
The port coolie.
is the appropriate.
You probably could make a coolie from port.
So the that guy is the Thalid Devourer
Oh,
Ooh,
look
yeah.
at that
from
art.
Fallen Empire.
Right. So the Thalid Devourer is exactly the same as the Thalid Germinator, except the Germinator is 2 and a green, and the Devourer is 1 green. So same CMC, but they're also 2/2. It does the same
I
ability.
didn't realize that
And also it gives
all the cards
it
are
gives
references.
+1/+2 because things were dumb
Oh,
back
right.
then.
These sacrifice happening +1/+2. It's not
So
exactly
they took
the
this
same.
card and made it not dumb.
Then Zealot Ilvec.
I think that might be a Feral Zealot from Fallen Empires.
If we're gonna have to, this will be
Oh, wow.
exciting. It's like guessing.
This is fantastic, actually. I love that. This is totally a guessing game now.
Yeah, forget the constructed update.
So
This
this
is now the
has
trivia challenge.
this has
Love it.
2
Two of
associated
them.
with
Oh,
it.
okay.
And there was
So-
barely a pile as well.
You're right that there is the let's see here. So there is the Feral's there's Feral's Zealot.
Farrell's
Oh,
Zealot.
right.
Yeah,
knife
it's not
guy.
it's not like
Knife guy.
it's not like he's feral.
No, yeah.
He's a guy named
Yeah.
Okay,
named Feral.
so-
because
So-
the Icatians were dealing with a religious fundamentalist insurgency led by a guy named Feral.
Okay, so the Feral Zealot
this
is
guy.
a 2/2 for 1 white, and if it attacks and isn't blocked, you may have it deal 3 damage to target creature.
Wow.
If you do so, it deals no damage this turn. So that's the Zealot aspect.
It's a summon townsfolk.
Right.
That's actually... Feral Zealot actually seems pretty good, to be honest.
And,
2/2
and-
for 3 that if it doesn't get blocked, you can just have it kill something.
And then it's also the Soltari Gorillas.
What?
Is also a very similar card.
Oh, right. Shadow, but the next time it deals damage...
I've always wanted to play this card, and I just can't get it into a deck.
Soltari Gorillas is really cool. Okay.
Just in Gatherer, a user by the name of Missile Penguin,
Missile Penguin.
which
Love
I'm
it.
assuming is somehow associated with Wizards of the Coast because they seem to have some insider knowledge here, has posted all these things in the discussion forums. And so it says this card references the Feral Zealot as well as Soltari Gorillas. During Tempest Block on the plane of Wrath, the Vec were one of the tribes of corporeal beings waging rebellion against the Phyrexian dictator Volrath. When the entire plane was overlaid onto Dominaria during plane shift, all the corporeal tribes were forced into a shadowy aether world, demonstrated by the Vec, Core, and Dal all having shadow in Time Spiral.
Cool. So Tendrils of Corruption, we can assume, is...
Corrupt. Well,
Yeah.
Corrupt surely came before this.
Corrupt was in Lorwyn Shadowmoor.
So no.
Let's see that one.
Lorwyn Shadowmoor came
Well, what's the other
after
Tendrils? It's Tendrils of...
Tendrils of Agony.
Thank you.
But
It is Corruption.
Oh.
Corruption. There's actually a card called Corruption?
What?
Wait.
Corrupt and Corruption. 2 different cards that... Magic!
I feel like this is Tendrils of Agony and Corrupt,
Kinda. I mean, it gains life, so...
yeah,
which Corrupt does.
It luckily does not have Storm.
Yeah.
although we might get so lucky as to get a grape shot in this pack
Oh
still.
boy.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
Oh
cool.
yeah, there is. Or like empty
So
the
yeah,
one.
there's Tendrils of Corruption there.
Right. Yes, that's what this
That's
is.
the one. But
This
what
is
it
Tendrils
reference?
of Corruption.
Well,
Yeah.
it got reprinted.
Well, that's from the Liliana versus Garrick.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
How do I know that?
So
This is the symbol. This
you're
is what the
saying
mana
it's-
symbol
it's,
is. Or
It is.
expansion symbol. Mana symbol. Everything is
corrupt.
weird. Yeah, corrupt. Okay. Cool. What about our old friend Temporal Eddie?
Temporal Eddy.
Yeah. Sorry, this is. I'm sorry if you listeners now think that we've gotten totally distracted and you're taking too long with this pack. We are now super fascinated with what these cards are referencing, and I'm super into this.
Yeah. I mean,
like, this is Plow Under, right?
No, because
Plowunder-
Plowunder is 2 lands for 3 green.
I mean, the effect of putting it on top is
Yeah.
sometimes colloquially.
So
referred
it is
to
a
as
combination of Time Ebb.
Oh.
Time Ebb. Yeah, put target creature on top of its owner's library. 2 and a blue sorcery.
And Temporal Eddy's well-known friend, Churning Eddy.
I'm sorry, what?
Churning Eddy. 3 and a blue. Return target creature and target land to their owner's hands.
Do not invite Churning Eddie to your parties.
No.
Hey, you guys gonna eat Pepto-Bismol?
And then Ironclaw Buzzardeers is just a reference to Ironclaw Orcs?
It's gotta be.
Or is there a
Yeah.
specific... Well, obviously they're Ironclaw... They're Orcs of the
Well, 'cause
Ironclaw clan, but...
There was also Brassclaw Orcs, right?
Yes.
Oh man, were they like at war with each other?
I don't.
They
Well,
must
I know
have been.
Brassclaw Orcs were in Fallen Empires, but I don't know where Ironclaw.
It was like
Orcs
iron,
are.
brass.
I think they were
iron,
just from the
brass.
core set.
Oh, well,
such as
it was obviously a combination of Ironclaw Orcs and Goblin Balloon Brigade.
Goblin Balloon Brigade, right.
Wow!
Inflate the toad.
Inflate the
Inflate
toad.
the toad.
All right. So, now we're back to the pack.
All right.
And we'll do this as we go now.
All right.
Subterranean Shambler.
Sorry.
It's a 2/3 elemental for 3 and a red with Echo.
Ah, yes.
So Echo...
Oh man, the art in this blog is so good.
So Echo is you play the spell, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, the turn after you played the spell, you pay its Echo cost or it goes away. So you sort of have to pay twice. But generally you
yeah.
get benefit for doing that. When Subterranean Shambler comes into play or leaves play, it deals 1 damage to each creature without flying.
So that was sort of a theme with some of these Echo cards. Is like sometimes it was worthwhile to let it die, or just the effect you got from playing it was so good that you didn't really mind.
You look at-
it was sort of like a
Mog War Marshal.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. It's, so Mog War Marshal is a 1/1 goblin for 1 and a red, but when it enters or leaves play, you get a 1/1 goblin
so
token.
it's 3 goblins for 2.
So you play it, and like you can just pay 2, play it, you get a goblin, then in your next turn you choose not to pay it, it dies, and you get a second goblin, basically replacing itself. So basically you get 2 1/1s for 1 and a red. So it's like casting Dragon's Fodder or Krenko's Command. It's basically exactly the same as that. Or you can pay the Echo, and then when this guy dies later in combat or chump blocking or something, then he replaces himself.
Yeah, or in the middle of a recruiter stack combo, he becomes ancestral or not ancestral. He becomes Black Lotus.
Yeah.
So the Subterranean Shambler
Oh, yes, please.
is a reference to the Subterranean Spirit from Mirage.
That guy's so real.
Wow, he's very
He's
similar
scary
too.
looking.
Yeah.
So Subterranean Spirit is 3 red, so an additional red more for a 3/3. This new guy's a 2/3. It also has protection from red, which is weird, but you can tap it to deal 1 damage to each creature
So it doesn't-
without flying.
So it doesn't deal damage to itself. Mm-hmm. Because it's up per red.
Right. That one does damage without flying. This one, this one is without flying. If I said with flying, I apologize. It's without flying.
Wait, what's next?
Mind Lash Sliver.
Oh, right, there's slivers in this set.
Oh, yeah.
There's some good slivers in this set. I don't know if this is one of them.
Including the first colored artifact creature was in Future Sight. It was the blue...
the Sarcomite Mirror?
that's the mirror. Sarcomite mirror. Sorry, it's not a sliver.
Yeah.
Totally correct. Thank you.
How do I know that?
Anyway, Mind Lash Sliver is a single black mana for a 1/1. All slivers have... with the ability, all slivers have pay 1 mana and sacrifice this creature. Each player discards a card.
Yikes.
Wow.
Okay.
It's like
So
Blow up
what's
your board and mind rot them.
what card is this referencing? Presumably it's a both players discard.
Some sort of mind lash effect.
Well, there was the Mind Stab Thrall,
Yeah.
Maybe.
which when it got through,
You could sacrifice it to make them pitch cards.
yeah. I think
Is there a
that's
card
it.
that's just called Mind Lash? Seems like there should be.
There's a card called Mind Knives.
Yeah.
From Portal.
Right, Mind Knives. Didn't we open a Mind
I
Knives
think you did
on
open a
an
Mind
episode of the
Knives.
podcast? I think we did.
Be like,
Mind
during-
Knives.
During my second main phase, I cast Mind Knives. Please discard a card.
I was really planning to be like, we'll just tear right through
Nope.
the pack opening today, but no, I'm actually
I
having a
told you the
blast.
set was
So-
good.
Yeah, the
What does Missile Penguin have
Missile
to say?
Penguin doesn't seem to have responded on this one.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
so-
Unfortunately.
Well, I
Slivers
mean,
are
it could just be a
slivers.
sliver.
All right.
What you got?
Havenwood Worm.
Sorry.
It's a 5/6 worm for 6 and a green.
I believe it's pronounced Havenwood Worm.
Have
Havenwood.
What abilities would make you Havenwood when you see this worm as a 5/6 for 7
I
mana?
beg-
Trample, obviously.
This guy's getting wrecked.
How about Flash?
Wow. Damn.
A 5/6 trample with Flash?
That's pretty. I think
7 mana creature with Flash.
This might be your first pick in draft, actually.
It's usually fine to attack into 7 open mana, right?
That's kind of amazing. You're not expecting them to cast a worm.
I was like,
That's amazing.
surprise, idiot.
Choo choo.
I mean, it's also got a really splashy mana cost.
yeah.
Time rifts bring tunneling beasts of old into the hard, dry earth of the present. Most die
It's a
there.
time traveling
trapped.
worm.
This is grim. Most die there, trapped. But the mightiest burst through the surface and surprise the crap out of that dude.
That's such good flavor.
That is terrifying.
He's just like, shit, future worm.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait! It's like it's a past worm
Yeah.
brought to the future. He's like, I thought you were extinct. Surprise!
Surprise. I was just underground for a really long time, and now I'm very upset.
And hungry.
I'm afraid Missile Penguin has deserted us.
No.
That is a shame.
Although somebody does point out that the artist on this is Stuart Griffin.
Oh, weird. All right, how
Just
about this
pretty
one?
funny.
Chameleon Blur. I've never heard of this card. 3 and a green, instant. Prevent all damage that creatures would deal to players this turn.
What the
It's
hell is
like
that picture?
Bad Fog, but except that it works for non-combat damage.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on there?
Wow. Note the attribution of the flavor text.
Freyalise.
To Freyalise?
It's Freyalise.
What?
That's cool. I didn't know that she was around in Magic sort of lore this long.
The Planeswalker
Anthony
now?
S. Waters. Usually I love your art, but I cannot actually figure out what's going on.
So there's a guy... Here, look at the card. There's a guy there that's a head, and his arm is sort of going up over this blue shape. It's like a bunch of different creatures overlaid.
Okay.
Oh, weird.
That is weird.
It's very strange.
It's like, this is my experimental phase.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Now, the
what?
Oh, wait, hang on.
sorry, I was
What's
going
up?
to say, now, I didn't see any response on this one, but it does seem like it is pretty similar to this Deepwood, which is from
Whoa.
Portal.
Oh, wow.
I like how lost these guys are. Does he have a guitar?
I think it's an...
You know, he's just shredding out in the woods.
I mean, I guess that is actually...
He looks
Deepwood
like
is actually just a
Coma,
fog.
the
basically.
Doof Warrior.
Yeah, Deepwood
the
is a
hair?
sort of a fog.
It's just a weird Portal fog.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Okay, check this out. This is rad. Chronotog Totem.
Oh, this thing's so bad.
Not Chronotog, which is its own card. Chronotog Totem.
If
This is not a Chronotog, this is
oh,
just
no,
a
wait,
tribute.
this one...
So, 3 mana artifact.
Oh, no.
Tap to add blue to your mana pool. So it's a mana rock. For 1 and a blue, Chronotog Totem becomes a 1/2 blue Atog artifact creature until end of turn. For 0 mana, Chronotog gets +3/+3 until end of
That's
turn.
a big pump.
But you skip your next turn.
Oh, no.
Play this ability only once each turn and only if Chronotog Totem is a creature.
Oh, no.
So, obviously, this is talking about the Chronotog,
He
Whoa!
looks so happy.
He's like, hey, guys. He looks
Which
like
is
an
exactly the
Ultraman
same.
villain.
So what's hilarious about this is I was just reading the comments on this. So I mean, obviously this is a reference to Chronotog. which is on the reserved list.
What?
Oh.
So this is basically a sneaky way of getting around the reserved list.
Because
How did
There's a
Chronicog get on the reserve?
this is a 1/2 for
Everything
blue.
from that era is on the reserved
It's a 1/2
list.
for 1 and a blue, and you make this creature a 1/2 for 1 and a blue.
This is from Visions. This isn't even that old.
Reserve
Also,
list.
could you just switch back and forth between the two art and look at how closely the faces line up?
Meh. Meh.
Watch this.
Meh.
It's amazing.
He's adorable.
Hey,
Look how happy he is.
I love that they got the same artist to do the totem.
That's really great.
Wow.
So there's a cycle of
deeply weird.
3 of the totems.
Are they all
Some of them-
ATOGs?
I think some of the totems are actually halfway playable.
Well, there's Phyrexian totem,
Right, yeah, the Phyrexian totem is
there-
actually not bad.
Is there only 3?
Only 3?
So there's
Which is
the
Phyrexian
Foresian
Negator or
totem.
Phyrexian Obliterator.
Phyrexian totem.
Phyrexian.
All right.
3 mana, add red to your mana pool. For 4 and a red, Phyrexian totem becomes a 4/4 red giant
And
with
that's
trample.
definitely a reference.
As long as it's a creature, it can block an additional creature. Yeah, this would be the Phyrexian giant that can block an additional creature. I
and
assume.
then
Yes.
Phyrexian totem is a reference to Phyrexian.
I always get Obliterator.
Although
and
he's not,
Negator
this guy
confused.
isn't actually,
Oh,
he's white for one thing.
Weird.
And also he's not reserved, which is interesting.
weird. I thought there was a red one. I could
It's
be wrong.
Phyrexian. What's it called?
There's Phyrexian totem.
Obliterator or Negator?
Negator.
Right. Phyrexian totem is 3 mana at a black. For 2 and a black, it becomes a 5/5 with trample, and whenever it is dealt damage, if it's a creature, sacrifice that many
See,
permanents.
this one might
Yeah,
actually
that's
be
the
more
negator.
more playable than Negator because you can at least sort of turn it off sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Negator's a really ham card.
Hmm.
Like even Mono Black is like, I don't know if I want to play this. It's kind of dirty.
That and Phyrexian Negator is on the reserve list.
Yeah.
Really?
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yep.
But
This is from the Phyrexia versus the Coalition duel deck.
yeah,
There's no way this is on the reserve list.
It's on the reserve. I mean, the real one is from Urza's Destiny, but they can reprint stuff in premium things.
Can they?
that's so weird.
I guess. Look,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and
You
it
don't make
says
the
this
rules,
card
I
is
know.
on the reserve list.
So yeah, like this
Fair enough.
guy, this guy's really aggressive
Yeah.
because it's a 5/5 with trample for 3.
But if it's dealt damage, you have to sacrifice permanents.
Yeah, it's quite a downside.
So, if you care, the other totems are the Thunder Totem.
Oh,
Oh.
I didn't know about this one.
It's a cycle of 5, 3 of which are on
So
the
there's a
reserve
green
list.
one.
For 1 white, it becomes a 2/2 white spirit with flying and first strike.
That actually seems pretty good.
Um,
That guy looks he looks like, kind of like a Buck Rogers sort of statue.
Yeah.
this
Or
this
Flash
card
Gordon.
is
Yeah, Flash Gordon.
referencing Thunder Spirit.
I figured, yeah. Which I assume is 1 white for a 2/2 white spirit with flying and first strike.
Would
It's
you look
amazing,
at that?
and it's on the
Hey.
reserve list.
Why?
It's from Fallen Empire.
It's
No,
yeah.
that's
Or,
Legends.
Yeah.
Legends.
The reserve list is not
Yeah.
the most powerful
I
cards.
know.
It's just every card above a certain rarity
Yeah.
in the old sets.
Yeah.
Whack.
And then what's the green totem? Because now I'm just curious.
The green one is the Weather Seed Totem.
Oh yeah, wait. Obviously, I have that. I have that in my Treefolk deck, along with Weatherseed Treefolk.
That's a really cool looking totem.
Yeah, Weatherseed Treefolk is a 5/3 with trample, which is unusual for Treefolk because usually they have bigger toughness than power.
The guy out got a big butt.
But yeah, when it goes into the graveyard, you put it back into your hand.
Cool. This guy's like such a non-bo with
It's
like
it's like
Lauren.
it has its own rancor. Anyway,
Oh, I see. Wait, sorry. The Foresian Totem. Different guy that I thought it was referencing.
Oh, we found different
So
one?
I looked for Foresian things, but it turns out it is actually referencing the two-headed giant of Fories.
Whoa!
there we go.
Look at that.
May block 2 attacking creatures, divide damage between them however controller likes.
And this
Love
guy hasn't been printed since Unlimited. He wasn't even printed in Revised.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Yeah.
I've never seen this card before in my life.
Well, 4/4 for 5 was probably fine in
With
in
trample.
Unlimited. Yeah.
In red.
Damn.
All right.
All right.
Let's get back to the pack here.
What you got?
Chronotog Totem was the first uncommon. I have another uncommon here. How do you like storing mana?
Oh, is this the cycle of storage lands?
Yeah, this is Dreadship Reef.
These were
Weird.
yeah.
So it's you. It enters untapped. You tap to add one colorless to your mana pool. For one colorless and tap it, you put a storage counter on it. For one colorless and remove X storage counters, you add X mana to your mana pool in any combination of blue and or black.
Yep. These are just so slow.
So,
Very slow.
obviously, these are referencing various other storagey type lands. Sand Silos being one of them,
Right.
and Fountain of Cho being the other one.
Fountain
Excuse
of
me.
Oh.
The Fountain of Cho from
I love that only now,
Mercadian Masks.
only in Magic Origins, did they finally print the colorless storage land.
Really?
Majoring Network. Yeah,
Well,
there we go. Ghost Flame Sliver. Now,
is this the one that makes them all colorless?
yeah.
What?
It's a 2/2 sliver for red-black, and all slivers are colorless.
Ghostfire shout out.
Yes.
Sup, Hugin?
Wild.
Didn't expect to see you here.
Very
It
interesting.
just makes all slivers colorless.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird for like red-black.
Our rare,
So, just quickly, that's reference to not Ghostfire.
because Ghostfire wouldn't have come out until Future Sight.
Yeah. It is a reference to Ghostly Flame,
What?
which is a weird-ass card.
Wow.
I remember Ghostly
this
Flame.
one too, but it's like, what does this even do?
Ghostly Flame is an enchantment for red-black instead of a creature for red-black, and it's both black and red permanents and spells are considered colorless sources of damage.
It's interesting, though, that, like, this is original Ice Age.
Yeah.
But even back in here, there was a like the ghost fire,
Yeah.
like the seeds of that idea.
The seeds
Yeah.
of Ugin sown in
Were there.
Also, it's
cold.
got rad flavor text.
Yeah.
Walk slowly when in the netherworld and seek that which calls. It's very Twin Peaks.
It's Lim Duel too. He's,
yeah.
That guy.
Our rare,
What is it?
I hope you like slivers.
Oh.
Psionic Sliver.
Oh,
It is
wait.
a 2/2 for 4 and a blue, and it gives all slivers. Tap. This creature deals 2 damage to target creature or player and 3 to itself.
What? Oh, it gives them all like weird bad Psyblast.
I saw Kenji go nuts with this on one of his streams because he had the slivers that give all slivers +0/+2.
Oh.
So he had like a bunch of slivers that all had like 5 toughness, and then he just played Psionic Sliver and was like, kill your guy, kill your guy, kill your guy, kill your guy.
seems fine.
Because they're dealing 2 damage to the opponent's creatures and 3 damage themselves, but they have the toughness to tank it.
That's wild.
and this
Yeah.
is a reference to Psionic Entity.
Oh, wow.
Really? Now,
Psionic
this
Entity.
is interesting because I thought...
That's a freaky art right there.
Paul, can you bring up Psionic Blast? Because that's the same kind of card, so I wonder if both of them were
So
inspired.
Psionic Entity is 4 and a blue for a 2/2 entity that you tap to deal 2 damage to a creature and 3 to itself.
That's wild. Wait, go back to the art? To the previous one for a second?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, my brain! And
yeah,
then
they're both grabbing their brains.
That's so crazy.
So
I didn't realize that
Psionic
this
Blast
was maybe a
was
reference.
4 damage to something and 2 to you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really
interesting.
Char. It's Char in blue.
Whoa. That's...
What?
Wow.
Also in this block.
And yeah, it's the same artist. Actually, Doug Schuler did the artist for Psionic Blast and for Psionic Entity.
Well, it was only
Freaking out, man.
Psionic Blast was only in the time shifted time spiral stuff. So the special.
But I feel like, wasn't there a...
Interesting.
was this only
Doug Schuler
in...
did not do the art, by the way, for Psionic Sliver. That was Wayne England.
Paul, was Psionic Blast only printed in Time Spiral, or was it... it's a reprint.
Psionic Blast is a reprint from Unlimited Beta Alpha. It was not even in Revised.
Oh, so this actually came first,
Psionic Blast was first, then Psionic Entity,
and then...
and then Psionic Sliver. And our Time Spiral special card, which has got the purple
Oh, right.
rarity mana symbol, is Soltari Priest.
This is playable.
It's very good. It's a 2/1 for white with protection from red and shadow.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
it's printed as they all are in the old border, the pre
So-
modern border.
Right. So do you ever see anyone just get like, the feel that red is going to be a thing this week at Highlander, and they sleeve Silver Knight and this guy up?
Yeah, kind of. Like, this is perfectly good in White Weenie. It's actually quite good in White Weenie. I mean, they can't bolt it.
Yeah.
ever.
This pack is rad.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm all in. I'm just going to take Psionic Sliver and assume I'm going to wheel the other slivers.
Yeah, all in on Thalids. Give me Thalids.
Give me that. What was that thing? The big guy. The time worm. Yeah.
Havenwood Worm?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna flash you.
I like the way you guys all just you divided up that pack quite nicely.
Yep.
Ta-da!
Done.
And you're not stepping on each other's toes. You're setting up what colors you're going to be in. It's
Well, we
good.
just spent half an hour doing that. that was super fun.
Sweet.
So you actually, that was a good segue there. Let's talk about your new Highlander brew.
So first of
now
all, we
that-
should talk about what my previous brew
Right.
was.
Because it's changed now that BFZ is out, right?
Yeah. So I was making. This decks me through a lot of permutations now. Like I started off with Mardu Aristocrats, and we're talking about Canadian Highlander as the format.
Right.
here.
So in case anyone's unfamiliar, it is 100 card singleton. There's no commander or anything. You play 1v1. You start with 20 life. And basically every card is legal, but there is a points list.
Yeah, you can find out all the information you want at CanadianHighlander.wordpress.com.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Which
let the
is
100-card
super.
deck list fool you. It is closer to cube constructed than it is to commander.
That's
Yeah,
exactly what
that's a great
it is.
way to explain it.
So I built Mardu Aristocrats first, which is it was sort of a mashup between a standard list, the Aristocrats, and a legacy list called Zombie Bombardment, which was essentially sort of you get value out of sacrificing your own creatures and having them like recur and that sort of thing.
So cards like Blood Artist. And
Yeah, Blood Artist,
Goblin Bombardment.
Falcon Wrath, Goblin Bombardment, Falcon
Falcon
Wrath
Wrath-
Aristocrat,
Falcon Wrath Noble.
Falcon Wrath Noble,
Yeah.
or sorry, Cartel Aristocrat.
Yeah, but also Falcon Wrath Noble, right?
Falcon Wrath Noble is, I
comes
think,
in-
too
I keep-
expensive.
It's the flyer that does the same thing
Yeah,
Blood
I
Artist
keep
does.
like waffling on that guy super hard because the effect is really good, but the mana cost is super high.
You know what's funny? In the Chinese printing,
Oh yeah,
Falcon Wraith Aristocrat and Falcon Wraith Noble had exactly the same name.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because Aristocrat and Noble, this is whoever was doing the translation obviously like missed a step or like didn't sort of go back over it, and they had exactly the same characters for their names. So
How about that?
they had functionally the same card name in Chinese.
So yeah, I built this in red, black, white, and it was very good. Then I added green, making it 4-color.
Yeah, see, here's the Aristocrat,
Look at that.
and then there's the Noble, exactly the same name.
Womp womp.
Awkward.
So yeah, I added green, making it 4-color, which added a lot of good cards, but it became kind of a heap.
That seems kind of unwieldy.
It was-
if you're already
it was
Mardu
tough.
and then you're like,
It was really tough because like
What
there's
is
so
that-
many cards fighting for.
what is that
know.
4-color combo?
It's
That's
one
one
of
of
the
That's one of the Nephilim.
Yeah, Nephilim.
Lore
Sandsower Nephilim.
Sandsower?
Yeah, which I briefly entertained the thought of playing, but it's terrible.
This is where magic nomenclature sort of breaks down. There's no good name for a combination of 4 colors excluding a fifth. There was this cycle of 5 cards called the Nephilim from original Ravnica block, and they all have very strange names. What's the Paul? Do you know the Nephilim that excludes blue?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Neph.
Nepilim.
I'm pretty sure it's like Sandsower
I thought it was
or something.
I thought it was Nepha.
No, Nephilim.
Nephilium.
Blue. The one that doesn't have blue.
So it's red. There we go.
Dune
Dune Brood.
Brood.
Sorry, I thought so because it makes sand creatures.
yeah.
It's just like. "Wah."
That kind of works with like
yeah, I mean.
Obzon and Mardu actually.
Yeah, it's like this would be totally sweet if it had any kind of evasion. Like if this guy had trample or something, maybe it would be real, but it's just bad.
So if it deals combat damage to a player at any point, you get a 1/1 for each land you control. Weird.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Meanwhile, barfing tiny men everywhere.
this also made the mana base kind of sketchy because like 4-color Blood, which is a popular list in German Highlander, which is 4 colors, but it plays like every good playable mana fixing creature. And I couldn't do that because, there's these creatures that rely on their synergy with one another. And it just made the mana base so sketchy. So I cut white. And it is now Jund Aristocrats.
Yeah.
And it seems to run really good. Because I got to add all sorts of hilarious, monstrous cards like Fecundity. Which...
What the name?
So
Fecundity.
I realized that it's just like, well, I don't need to be a blue mage to draw a million cards. I just have to play this.
Fecundity is 2 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature dies, that creature's controller may draw a card. So do you not find it's a problem that that's a symmetrical effect?
It is, like, every game that I've had it's been irrelevant that it's a symmetrical effect because
your creatures are dying consistently and
I have control
in much
over,
greater number.
Yeah, I have control over when my creatures die, and I make tokens. So I will, generally speaking, have far more triggers off of this than my opponent.
Well, fecundity is a pretty good word, pretty good name. I think it's even better in German.
Guterdunger.
Guterdunger.
I never remember. Fecundity is...
Something to do with decay.
No, it's fertility. Like, something is fecund if it has reproduced.
Yeah, so then that's in flavor,
I think.
with this card. Anyway, I play stuff like that. Let me just get this list up again. Then I'll go over really quickly some of the spicy
Paul has
cards
a definition
in
of fecundity.
Fecundity is the reproductive rate of an organism or population, measured by the number of eggs, seed set, or, however they reproduce. That's its fecundity.
Nice.
So, is the actual reproductive rate measured in the number of eggs, seed sets, or asexual propagules. It is similar to fertility.
I beg your pardon.
So picture this scenario. You have this in play, and you also have something like, I don't know, Goblin Bombardment.
I'm listening.
And then you play Sprouting Thrynax.
Oh, God.
Sprouting Thrynax being a 3/3 that when it dies, you get 3 1/1s. Oh, yeah. That's the deck. That's the entirety of the deck.
So so for 3 mana, you deal 4 damage to something and draw 4 cards.
Yeah. So this deck is it actually is a little bit like Goblins, wherein some of the cards in it are kind of dirtily on their own, but all in concert, you get this sort of synergy of just you assemble these weird little contraptions out of creatures and enchantments and sometimes artifacts that just turns into this damage card advantage factory. It's a really fun deck to play. Mm-hmm. But green gets me into stuff like Collar of the Claw. That was a spicy include. I haven't blown anybody out with that yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Which one's Collar of the Claw?
Collar of the Claw is a Highlander classic. This is it's actually a great example of a card that is played in no format except Highlander, in which it's amazing. It's 2 and a green, a 2/2 elf with flash. When you play it, it makes a bear for every creature you control that died that turn.
Every non-token creature.
Yeah, so you wipe out your own board, play this thing, make bears.
Sack those.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Wow, yeah, Collar of the Claw seems really, really good in your deck.
I do have a Thallid in this list. I have Tuckatung Thallid.
Oh, yeah, Tuckatung Thallid.
Because the deck, I play a lot of creatures that are actually 2 creatures.
Yeah, the Tuckatung Thallid is just a single green for a 1/1, and then when it dies, you get a 1/1.
Yeah, and the new version of that, Blisterpod.
I was going to say, you should run Blisterpod.
So is Blisterpod in there? Yep.
Is Blisterpod in the list as well?
Yep.
Yeah, sweet.
What was the mirror who did that?
Mirror Sire.
Yeah.
It's 2 mana, though.
Oh, lame.
Which is a drag.
Yeah.
And Young Wolf is...
that's 1/1 for 1 green with Undying.
Right, so it's a 1/1 for 1, and then it dies and comes back as a 2/2.
Yeah, and then I've got stuff like Stranglerootgeist.
Yep.
Just all sorts of stuff that makes 2 things. Nest Invader is in here. But yeah, green was fun to add.
Right, Nest Invader is the one from Rise of Eldrazi. It's a 2/2 for 1 and a green, and it comes into play with a 1/1 Eldrazi.
Yeah, there's only 1 Planeswalker in this list.
There's some Eldrazi from the new set that might suit you.
Possibly.
Eyeless Watcher is...
What's that one?
So it's 4 mana.
Yeah.
It's 3 and a green, but you get it as a 1/1 and 2 1/1 Eldrazi. So I don't know if maybe that's too high on your curve.
Maybe. Because there's very few 4s. There's some great 4s in here. Oh man.
So which
Helm
Sorin
of Possession.
Which Sorin is your Planeswalker?
Oh, there's no Sorins in here because they're white.
Right.
The only planeswalker on this list is
4-color.
it's Garruk Relentless.
Yeah, Garruk Relentless. Of course
But look at this. I always wanted to play
Helm of Possession.
Vedalken Shackles, and now I can.
So it's a 4-mana artifact. You may choose not to untap it during your untap. For 2 mana and tap it and sack a creature, gain control of target creature as long as you control Helm of Possession and it remains tapped.
So it's Shackles.
It is Shackles.
With no power restriction.
That's amazing.
Also, like, you could take control of Emrakul with this.
This seems
It's
way
very good.
better than Shackles.
The problem is that if you don't have a creature to sacrifice, it's terrible. Shackles you can just activate whenever you want.
Yeah, but
And it's
you can only get tiny creatures until you build up X number of swamps or islands.
you got to
pardon
play
me.
against Shackles. It's like
No,
relevant enough.
No,
but yeah.
I have Shackles. I mean,
no,
there's
no.
He's having flashbacks.
there's a reason that Shackles is in the Magic Online Legacy Cube list and Helm of Possession isn't.
yeah.
Vedalken Shackles is exactly the same as we described. It's a 3-mana artifact. You can choose not to untap it, and for 2 and tap it, you gain control of target creature with power less than or equal to the number of islands you control.
Yeah. This card is such a headache.
But the thing is, like,
I hate it intensely.
like the reason I said it's better than Shackles, which is
In certain situations,
is probably not even
better.
not even up for debate. I'm sure Shackles is better, but the reason I said that is because your only setup is having a creature, and then once that happens,
Yeah, you just have it.
you just have it, and there's nothing they can do about it until they get rid of the Helm of Possession. So
Exciting.
in your deck,
Yeah.
Helm of Possession's way better, and not just because you're not running any islands.
Man, you know what? I got Marit logged out twice on yesterday at the tournament.
You want to explain how that works?
Okay,
this
so
is brutal.
This is the kind of games you get into.
Settle in and let me tell you a
My
story.
opponent, I think they were on. I'm pretty sure it was mono green, and one of the ways that this deck wins, at least the build that I saw, is that they play Primeval Titan as a 6-mana ramp spell, which goes and finds Dark Depths and Thespian Stage. And when you untap at those lands, you activate Thespian Stage, copying Dark Depths. It becomes a copy of Dark Depths with no ice counters on it. So both of them die, and you get a 20/20 without having to pay anything except 2 mana to activate Thespian Sage. And you can do that at instant speed at the end of turn, and then you just like crack in. I lasted a turn because I put my Birds of Paradise in front of it.
The Marit Lodge?
Lage.
The Marit token is, by the way, it's a 2020 indestructible flying creature.
Oh yeah, right. I knew there's. Yeah, it's really big.
It's
Path
very
to Exile. Way to double Stone Rain yourself, idiot.
So yeah, this thing's
game
hard to
20.
deal with.
Oh no, Path, right.
But if I had Helm of Possession, I was like, mine now. Just like attack step, mine.
Gib.
Idiot. Someday I'll live that dream. Yeah, there's so many sweet cards in here. I'm just looking at this.
Is there anything other than Blister Pod
From the new set?
Yeah, is there anything from Battle for Zendikar? in here?
I think I tested. No, wait, there totally is. It's Zilliport Enforcer.
Oh yeah, right.
That guy's. In fact, he's actually the reason I put this deck back together.
It's a new Blood Artist.
He's so
Or
good.
Zilliport Cutthroat.
Sorry, Cutthroat.
Yeah, right.
Not Enforcer.
Right.
Zilliport Enforcer's terrible.
was
Yeah.
from Rise of
Yeah,
Eldrazi.
Zilliport Cutthroat.
Zilliport Cutthroat. It's a 1 and a black for a 1/1. He's an ally, if that matters to
Not
you.
really. He's not as good as Blood Artist, but he's another Blood Artist for the same cost.
Yeah. Whenever.
Also has the advantage of being human for Falconwrath Aristocrat.
Yeah. Whenever another creature you control dies, whenever he or another creature you control dies, your opponent loses 1 life and
Yeah,
you
you
gain
drain
1
them
life.
for 1.
So why is this not as good as Blood Artist?
Blood Artist triggers on any creature dying.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
so yeah. Blood Artist is kind of best friends with something like, oh, I don't know, Goblin Sharpshooter maybe. Did I tell you about how I wrath this elf board with Sharpshooter?
Please.
This is the kind of plays that I like making with this deck. So
This is my Highlander.
Goblin
Sweet.
Sharpshooter, it's a pinger, sort of like what was the original one?
Prodigal Pyromancer?
Yeah, Prodigal Pyromancer.
Prodigal Sorcerer.
Prodigal Sorcerer.
Yeah. So you tap it and you ping for 1, but it doesn't untap during your untap step.
So it's 2 and a red for a 1/1,
Yeah.
and you can tap it to deal damage to anything, creature or player, but it doesn't untap. But how do you untap it?
Whenever any creature dies.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, let's say there's 4 1/1s. You're like, shoot, untap, shoot, untap, shoot, untap. The original art for this has a goblin behind a machine gun. So, yeah, there
sharpshooter.
you go. Sharpshooter. He's just like hand cranking this wooden machine gun with this bag of rocks next to it. So he had, this was, I couldn't believe I did this. He had a bunch of elves, an elf lord, and then Whisperwood Elemental. And I was like,
Ooh.
Solve this problem.
solve this problem. And I was like, what do I do? Because like his board had so much resiliency that I was like, this looks bad. So yeah, so he had protection if I was going to like blow them up. So one turn I had to take this guy out. So I was like, mark 1 damage on this guy, sack one of my guys, untap. Mark 2 damage on this guy, sack one of my guys, untap. And I got to 4 damage. In response to the 4th shot, he sacked it to like protect his guys. I was like, that's fine. Pass the turn, rolls back to me somehow. Then I do the same thing, like ping his lord twice. His guys all get debuffed to 1, and I just like obliterate the rest of his board.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
Good times.
I guess if you just have if you have enough like
It's just
dudes
like
to sack.
yeah, like you start digging pretty deep trying to untap him, but it's like the ability to just control when that happens and just like pick guys off and just like wipe them out. It's so much fun.
Wow, we've been talking for a while.
Yeah. This is a beautifully synergistic list, though.
In the
I like
interest, yeah. Do you want to like take it home in the interest of moving on to Cam so we can?
It's fun. I'm still tinkering with it. I'm actually probably going to put this guy in.
A Whispered Elemental seems
Yeah.
very strong.
Yeah.
Also, he makes dudes.
He makes dudes, and he like makes it so you get dudes when your dudes die.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to get played. Either this guy or I tested Mitotic Slime,
Oh.
which is super spicy because it's 7 bodies in one creature.
Oh, right.
Oh,
It's
the
a
mice,
4/4.
yes.
When it dies, it makes 2 2/2s, and each one of those, when it dies, makes 2 1/1s. So you play this
you get a
into
4/4,
like Goblin
2 2/2s,
Bombardment.
and 4 1/1s.
Yes.
Wow.
So yeah.
So just like 7 damage.
That seems very good.
It's also got cool art.
Super
Yeah.
cool. Raymond Swanland.
But yeah, I'm
value.
gonna keep tinkering with this one.
Raymond Swanland made a slime spiky.
Yay!
It's amazing.
'Cause, yeah, this deck's it's so fun.
Kudos to you.
It's so fun to play. Anywho,
Sweet.
Cam, you have a deck that's very similar to mine.
Well, I've got the standard version of this, and it's kind of the Duplo version.
Duplo.
that's a good cut.
I am basing this standard deck, a standard aristocrats deck, around Butcher of the Horde. And I think I've
That
talked about
one
this
was-
guy before.
That
But-
one was tough to cut for me.
This guy is so good.
So Butcher of the
He's so
Horde
good.
is 1 red, white, black.
Yes.
So 4 mana,
mana.
1 in the full Mardu for
For
5
a
4.
5/4 flyer,
Yeah.
which
That's
is outstanding.
that's
Normally-
already
Actually,
I'm
that's
in.
Normally, like, this is the highest power and toughness for 4 mana in the game, I think.
It's-
without a huge downside.
Yeah, I mean, like the
There's
cards that compete with this, as far as
Desecration Demon?
Desecration Demon and Abyssal Persecutor,
Yeah.
both which have huge downsides.
There's actually
Yeah, kind of like
and there's actually no downside. The downside is that it costs 3 different colors of mana.
yeah, so a 5/4 flyer for 4 mana, you would expect some kind of hideous downside.
It's
But
all
no.
upside.
Yeah, it's all upside. So you sacrifice something to it, and it gains vigilance, lifelink, or haste.
Until the end of turn.
Yes.
Pick one.
Yeah, pick one.
Oh man.
Or
So-
more than one if you have multiple creatures to sack.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy is like a 5/4 hasty guy
Yeah.
on 4 is quite a beating to come back from, even if
Like-
it is just trading off with a Thunderbreak Regent.
Yeah, this was actually the saddest part about cutting white from this list is losing this guy because he was such an MVP.
Yeah.
I would just I don't think I ever lost a game I played this guy.
Yeah.
He was just like brr, brr, go
Yeah.
to sleep.
So I saw you also had Zulaport Cutthroat in there.
Yes, I'm running Zulaport Cutthroat as my Blood Artist stand-in,
Yeah.
and I'm also running Outpost Siege.
I like it.
Oh, right. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to creature or player.
I played
Yeah.
that one.
So it's like a bombardment.
Yeah, it is, and it also has a grindy card advantage.
Can I
Mode.
entertain you with one more story?
Yeah, of course.
I was playing against Reanimator. I stick Outpost Siege. he reanimates Elishnorn, which gives all my creatures -2/-2 while it's in play, and I'm like,
You die.
no. Because I had no board. And I was like, my plan now, because I think he cast it with like reanimate and like domed himself for 7. It's like my plan now is to cast creatures, have them die, and shoot you in the face. So I just played creatures that just kept dying, and he couldn't catch up with me. Just stop hitting yourself, idiot. So I used Elishnorn to kill my opponent.
What was the enchantment from Innistrad block? It was like Cruel Revival, the one that debuffed all your creatures but made them cheaper to play.
Oh yeah, I thought about that one. It's
Yeah.
probably sketchy.
Yeah, it's probably quite bad. But like, it's standard. It's the fall of 2015, so of course I'm running Hangerback Walker.
Well, that seems
Because
like an amazing creature
Hangerback
to
is so good.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
You sacrifice the creature and you get all the 1/1s, and you can sacrifice those creatures
Yeah, exactly. I'm running Bloodsoaked Champion.
because you can
who-
sack them and they come back.
Yep.
Yeah, Sultai Emissary, who is a 1/1 for 1 and a
yeah.
black. When it dies,
Pyrrhic
No,
removal?
no.
Whoa.
and when Sultai Emissary dies, you manifest the top card of your library. This guy was a lot better when I was running Jeering Instigator in the deck,
Oh yeah, right.
because nobody ever sees Jeering Instigator coming. My other sack creatures are Flamewake Phoenix, which is 1 red for a 2/2 with haste, or flying in haste, that has to attack each turn. But it also has this ferocious trigger, where if you control a creature with power 4 or greater,
Like say Butcher the Horde.
like say Butcher of the Horde, you can pay 1 red mana at the beginning of your combat step to return him to the battlefield from the graveyard.
Exquisite.
And it has haste,
Yes.
so it gets to attack that turn.
Yeah, or you can sack it again. And because I'm of the Travis Wu school of deck brewing, where you
Oh, Heartless Summoning. That's the
Heartless
one.
Summoning, that was it.
There used to be a deck.
Yeah, you played this with like the ritual
Or, like
Priest of Urabrask.
Worm Coil Engine.
Yeah. I'm of the Travis Wu philosophy of deck brewing, where you never run a 4 of your main engine, you run 8 of. So I'm also running Blazing Hellhound, which I love, but I don't think is good.
Yeah, that guy, I
I
thought
want
about
this
him.
guy to be so much
I know,
better.
Well,
like
he's
you
certainly
want him
no
to be
Butcher
good
the
so
Horde.
bad.
Yeah.
It's like
So
he's got
I think
4 power.
Yeah, he's got 4 power, so he enables Ferocious. He's got like
You
Barrage
pay.
of Expendables.
You get to
See,
sack a
Goblin
creature and deal
Bomb.
one
This
damage
is the
to
kind
something.
of guy I would just like slam into my deck and be like, I don't care how bad this card is, it's sweet.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, if you have Outpost Siege out, you get to shock something.
Yeah.
I cut
When
so
something
many
dies.
good cards from this deck to get in like the cool cards.
I don't know
Yeah.
how.
I cut Mind Twist in this deck for more sweet cards.
Wow.
By all rights, I should be running Nantu Go Husk. Right?
Mm.
Like, I
Yeah,
should
it's-
just be running Nantu Go Husk.
Just
and-
the 2/2 for 3 that you
Yeah.
can sack
It is
creature,
such a
right?
drag that you don't get to play what's it?
Like
the
Blood, right? Or Blood.
I assume you're.
whatever
the
face is.
vampire.
Yeah, the vampire, the 1/1 for
I
one.
assume
and a
you're only
black.
running 3 Hangerback Walkers because you just don't have a 4th.
Yeah, I should get one of the event decks that comes with a Hangerback Walker. What else am I running in here? I'm running Liliana, Heretical Healer,
Nice.
because she loves it when things die. I am running Crackling Doom
Yeah, you are.
because
Crackling Doom?
Crackling Doom. Why wouldn't you? I'm running Kolaghan's Command.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Call Against Command. Can I just talk about how dumb this card is?
Yeah, well,
It's so good.
it's Rakdos Electrolyze.
Okay,
right?
Here's what happened to me, I think, on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
My opponent goes Tezzeret the Seeker. -2 puts Time Vault into play.
Mm-hmm.
He starts with 4 loyalty. I'm just like, Call Against Command. Blow up your Planeswalker and your stupid Time Vault.
Oh,
It's like, do, 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 do.
Oh, wow.
It's just like, oh, feels so good.
Because Kolaghan's Command, it's it's 1 black-red instant, and you get to choose 2 of the following things. Return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, whatever. Target player discards a card. That's pretty okay. Destroy target artifact, Highlander, hello. Or deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So you dealt 2 damage to him, redirecting to Tezzeret, and destroyed the Time Vault. And then you just like...
and he looked
and
so
then just started
deflated.
like rubbing your nipples. Like,
Yeah, I was just like, feel the burn. This has enabled some pretty savage blowouts. Like I had an opponent on the back leg who like mystical tutored for something, and on their draw step, I was like, discard and I'll shatter your mana rock.
oh.
so like
It's just like, ugh, feels
And-
bad.
at Pro Tour, at Pro Tour Battle for Zendikar, there was a blue-black version of the Aristocrats deck that ran mainly exploit creatures. Like its main engine was the 1 blue mana exploit 04
Sidisi's
that
Faithful.
bounces things.
Yeah.
Sidisi's Faithful, where it would, pay it for 1 and a blue, sack trigger, bounce itself, and you just play it to wrap out your entire board.
Damn.
Into Zulaport Enforcers.
Wow.
Right, and it also ran Vampiric Rites, the new enchantment, where you pay mana to sack a creature and draw a card.
I should see if there's any exploit cards that are good in my deck.
Yeah.
There might not be any. Or like
the blue-black version of this deck makes me very happy. I'm so glad it's real.
I think for your deck, I think the blue cards would be the better ones, which means you can't really.
I don't have
run
a
them.
blue mana base.
There's a 5 mana black one that you exploit a creature and a creature gets -3/-3.
Well,
which
there's
is not exciting.
It's something butcher.
Sidisi, the 5-drop.
Yeah.
She demonic tutors.
You should get Sidisi.
I should get Sidisi in this deck.
There we go.
I thought
We
I
got
had a
there.
copy of Sidisi.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
got there.
We'll play
Maybe
Sidisi. Yeah, there
I
we
should be
go.
playing Sidisi.
Actually, look at that butt though.
Yeah,
4/6
4/6 Death Touch.
4/6 Death House for 5 is just great on its own.
But
Also, demonic
it
tutor
just
for
DTs.
value. Yeah.
Maybe that's what I should be running instead of like.
Well, you know what? This is a third
and-
copy of DT in my deck because I play demonic tutor. I play what's the other one where you sack a creature?
Oh.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Diabolic
Intent,
Yeah.
which is demonic tutor, but the additional cost is sacrifice a creature.
Oh, darn.
Which is
Oh,
sometimes
darn.
actually really great.
What a shame for you.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'll sack this guy and go get a reanimate spell or something. So maybe
Yeah.
Sidisi's like the hat trick.
Sweet.
Maybe I do want to be running 2 of Sidisi.
Why not?
Give it a
I mean,
thought.
I'm running
Instead of the Hellhounds?
Yeah.
Might
yeah.
be cool.
Could be fun.
Might be cool.
Oh, yeah, Minister of Pain?
I was actually going to sideboard in the
Wait, creatures?
Yeah.
Plural your opponent's control?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Minister of Pain, 2/3 for 2 and a black. Exploit if you exploit, which is to say when you play it, you sack a creature. Creatures your opponent's control get -1/-1 until end of turn.
Exquisite.
I was actually thinking about boarding in.
You can always exploit itself.
Yep.
Boarding in Karsi Sadist,
Oh yeah.
which is the 1/3 for 1 and a black exploit to drain for 2. Which I think might be okay against aggro, but I should probably actually just be playing Arishin Cleric.
This scene looks exactly the same as another card. Was it like Ritual of the Serpent or something?
Oh right,
Right
yeah.
of the Serpent. Oh right, Gravecaller.
Well, that guy was nuts.
Rakshasa, yeah, like miniature Grave Titan.
Yeah.
Remember?
Wait, 2 zombies?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
Rakshasa Gravecaller is real. Again, might be too expensive for what you're trying to do in your Highlander deck, but Rakshasa Gravecaller is
Yeah, like that
very
guy was
strong.
Utter beating in
3/6 for 5 mana exploit. You get 2/2 zombies.
Do you guys
Very
want to
good.
go draft dragons?
I kind of do.
Yeah.
I'm super late for my
Certainly,
stream,
though.
so
Certainly,
Oh, no.
though, we should
Oh.
go.
Yeah.
And do something. We should go. Is what
Yeah,
we should
we-
do.
we have to go.
So we went really off on that time spiral pack, but that was super fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. The deck is not a great performer, but it leads to some rad plays, which are a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
very synergistic.
I'm sure if you ask very, very nicely, Alex and Cam will link these deck lists from their Twitters or something.
I made some changes from the last one that I posted on Tapped Out, so I'll probably update that.
Cool. And thank you for listening, because this podcast is brought to you by you and your support of our
You did this.
and your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. So please check that out, because it supports not only this but tons of other fun stuff as well. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Talk to you next time.